Okay, quick recording here of Hex of Steel. And I was playing the Polish campaign, Germany 1939. And I realized that one of the reasons I was having a lot of trouble was that I was playing without zones of control. You need to have zones of control in this game. I think all of them have been designed that way. And the other thing I was also doing was playing with a huge random chance modifier. I think I had it way up here or something. And I was losing a lot of those battles. I don't know why, but it seemed like it was affecting me more than them. So I was playing with Fog of War, but I'm playing something else now. I'm going to show you Eylau. I've added some. You can see that I'm loading the Napoleonic Wars mod over here. And that's going to be... you can hear the music changed here. It's quite cool. All right, they've done a real good job on this Napoleonic mod. So just to say that I'm going to stop playing this 39 scenario. I could continue. I mean, if I went ahead and decided to play it, you can still play it from this mod, 1939, starting this campaign. Okay, all of this razzmatazz here. So I learned quite a few things about playing this while really getting my butt kicked, I have to say. But you need to have... Oh, I forgot to turn on the Fog of War. But I would play this with Fog of War, so I wouldn't know where all this stuff is. But it's probably a good idea to turn this on and see exactly what's out there. A couple reasons I'm not going to continue to play this. First of all, some of the key victory objectives are over here in Russia and in Lithuania, it looks like, and I don't really have access to those as far as I can tell. What's this one? Let's turn off the objectives and zoom in on that. That's Vilna. That's something the Russians took. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to meet these objectives of capturing all major victory points unless Russia joins my side at some point, and I don't see any mechanism for that. So does that mean I have to go engage in diplomacy and send them money to get them to change? There's simply no guidance on this, how much to send. You have to send something every month or something like that, or every day. Obviously not every day, but it doesn't tell you how to get the Russians in on your side. That would be the only way to necessarily win. I don't know. There might be a trigger like the capture of Moscow or something like that. So I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. So anyway, you can see the Poles have a lot. It seems to me their army's bigger than ours. Now I've read a lot of after-action reports saying that it's easy to really take out these Poles, and you should be able to. Notice I've added a mod where you can see the actual pictures of these guys. There's von Buck. Heinz Guderian's over here. There he is. Not bad, eh? This has got a great graphic system here. So anyway, I'm moving on from this. So let's get out of here. Quit to the main menu. So sorry, guys, but I wasn't getting a lot of people following this. But I'd like to play this Napoleonic Wars one, and I'm going to. And what I'm going to do is play a scenario, Battle of Eylau, which is the winter battle with the Russians and some Prussians as well, in, well, I guess it was near Königsberg, really. So here you got the French. You can be the Russians, or I guess these are Prussians here. I'm going to be human player, and starting this, it tells you to set some things up, which is why I had the Fog of War off. It says you turn off the Fog of War for this, you turn off partisans for this, turn on historical focuses, and turn on manpower. I had those on already. Okay. Events, reinforcements for both sides will arrive on their historic date. So the Prussians will come in. They come in at night on the first day of the battle. And I guess the... is it Grouchy? No, it's Ney. Ney, who's chasing the Prussians, will also come on later on at that time. Okay. And these guys will come on somewhere, if I understand correctly, up in the north, up here, probably on one of these roads right here or here. Okay. Now it looks like, what is this? I can draw with this pen, huh? Yeah, this is nice. Yeah, so they might come in here or possibly on this road here. Look at that, huh? Okay. Does that erase everything? Yeah, okay. Right. So we're going to start this off now. It will be winter, so each of these units will have winter attrition, which is interesting. Now, I want you to take a look at this. These graphics are really nice here. Here you can see these are hussards, which is a light cavalry unit. 32 attack versus infantry, 32 attack versus armor. You'll see that this is an armored unit. Okay, I think I might have to turn off this thing here. I'm not sure how I turn that off. Change the color. Should be more information than this. Okay, hold on. Anyway, there should be a way to get more information here than just that. I don't know if I have to turn this thing off. Maybe that's how. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so you can see, for example, this is a cavalry unit, 30 attack, 30 armored attack. Now, that's their attack versus cavalry or infantry, probably, or artillery. You'll see, it's a little bit weird, but it's considered to be an armored unit. The cavalry is an armored unit. So, that's the way it's handled here. This is a supply unit. That's considered a cavalry unit as well. And you look at some infantry. Those are hussards again. Those are on the flanks. Here's some infantry. Here we go. 20th Infantry of the line. You'll see they're 35 versus other infantry, but only 15 versus cavalry, reflecting the weakness of infantry versus cavalry in a sort of an abstract way. I don't believe there's any square formations or anything, but you can entrench, and they're considered to be entrenched here. So a lot of the basic rules are the same for this game. So artillery here, it's considered artillery, so I don't know what. Yeah, of course it would be. Okay. So I suppose that's a soft target as well. Anyway, it's equally damaging versus infantry or cavalry here. Okay. You will see units will take attrition losses. For example, if you're moving this guy here in the snow, watch his strength. So let's move him to here. So he does strength. You lose 1 strength point per hex moved through the snow. However, I don't think that you lose any strength points if you're on a road. Well, here's the artillery. No, it did. Okay, so this is the winter attrition effect. That's uniform here. Okay, we're looking at this massive map. I wouldn't call it beautiful, but it's quite interesting. So you have here some thick forest, very difficult to get through. And here, our cavalry really can't get through that, I bet you. Then you have hills here. You have some, they call this the sea. Now, I don't know why these are being shown as sea, because really a lot of these were frozen, and you didn't even know you were walking on top of them. I don't know if I can actually enter those hexes. No, you can, look. Yeah, it's considered frozen sea, apparently. Alright. So that's historical, so a lot of historical things here. It's another one of these games where there's no turn limit. This cracks me up. So I guess either the French are going to succeed and win, or they're going to just knock their heads up and decide that they can't win. The objectives are to capture all these major sites. You can see there's quite a few of them. Somewhat far away. Some are closer. So you have to capture all the major victory points. So that's all pretty clear. I don't know that there's any place. Well, we've got cities. little, those are bridges. There's a city, so I think you can deploy some things there. If you go to the purchasing, this can be at any city, town, or harbor. Okay, so let's get out of here. So I can't remember if these double things are cities or villages. A lot of bridges. It shows the key bridges. Not sure what the effect of these rivers is going to be. Here's a river here. Let's turn this off for a second. So this guy here. Did I already move him? Guess I already moved him. I want to try to move a guy across the river here if it's possible. Yeah, here's a river. See, look, he's got movement. It looks like he can go right across that river here. So the rivers are frozen. Let's see how much it costs to go into it. Let's see. Should say up here, river costs 2, I believe. Yep, so that's 4 of his 6. Let's get him back on the road. That's one of the things. You can't move him twice in this game. So you can go backwards, though. Oh, it's not letting me go backwards. All right. Here's Murat's cavalry. You'll see here's some chasseurs à cheval. These actually... There's some cuirassiers in here. There's the cuirassiers. You can see they actually have a... If you look into the corner down here, you'll see that they have a strength of 10. So these are actually armored. So that represents the fact that they were actually wearing armor. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, so there we go. Very good, very good. So we're going to try this. Act as the French. Try to crack this Russian line. I don't know. For some reason, I think Hex of Steel might be a better choice for this level of a game. Due to the sort of positional nature of Napoleonic warfare, the incremental nature of it, in some ways, is a factor here. Hex of Steel, it's hard to do the sort of the blitzkrieg tactics, I think. But anyway, enough of this. That's my video for today. Ciao. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by.